नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ॐ मां ललिता देवी जगदम्बे जननी नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। मां ललिता देवी ब्रह्मानन्दसागरी नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके देवी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। Hari Om. Namaste. Yes. Can someone recollect? Namaste ji. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? Anything? We form the link and we move ahead. Yes, please. Anybody?
Yeah, I
All
can.
right. Yes, ji.
Yeah,
Most welcome.
yeah. We started looking at Mahasaraswati's powers, and
Hmm.
she's the closest to all mortals, and also the youngest of all the mothers that we saw. And
Hmm.
she performs the actions of engineering, and she's constantly performing. Uh,
Yeah.
Her work is like an art of precision, and
Hmm.
she carries a lot of patience, and she's constantly working in order to make the divine work and will manifest through her instruments. She makes a person basically become the perfect instrument, and she's the giver of knowledge, perfect intuition, patience, and all these qualities indicate her presence. She carries care and caution in every execution of her task.
Hmm.
Her work has a touch of artistry. It is meticulous and organized. And in new creation or a new transformation that happens, it is her grace and it is a reflection of her work of perfection. And the other things that we saw were, despite the flaws and imperfections that exist within a person, she does not let go of him so easily. So every flaw is set right by her, and if we make the call or pay heed to the call that comes. So she's
Hmm.
the busiest, but easily accessible and closest. So, whatever may be concealed, no matter how tiny it is or however they exist, actions of the past, present, and future, they cannot escape her gaze. She has endless energy and uses them to bring about the perfection. And also, she is impartial. And tamasic nature or laziness or
Hmm.
lethargic approach is something that she does not stand. Her mission is to bring about the absolute truth's manifestation. So, this is something that we saw.
Yes. All right, Chitraji, thank you. So one thing I think if you noticed in Chitraji's words twice, she has used the word art. Art in Mahasaraswati. Mahasaraswati's working is something like that of an artist. We have among us maybe multiple artists, but we have a very senior artist in Ushaji. So Maji, I would like to just ask a couple of questions though. Uh, is art connected with patience?
Absolutely, patience and perseverance.
Patience and
Like one of the
perseverance.
first things when we started learning art, the teacher said, draw straight lines. And
Ah,
you have to draw left to right, top to bottom, bottom to top, and slantwise, but they should be straight. Just keep on drawing it. We thought this was a very silly exercise to do, but
hmm.
then we found that it's not possible to draw a straight line absolutely straight without the help of a scale. And you had
Wow.
to draw it freehand straight lines. Then after, but the teacher said doesn't matter. So you just date your sheet and keep it in a file. And we kept dating. 6 months later, the teacher said, now look at your lines and look back 6 months before. And we
Ah.
found that it was amazingly straight. I mean, the lines were almost perfect. That is what,
Wow.
perseverance and determination to get it right set
Ji,
the
ji.
thing.
So a lot of patience is like you said, no, 6 months.
Yes. Lot of
Now,
patience and hard work. You can never give up. You have to keep striving.
means their laziness will not be of any use, isn't
Oh,
it?
no, no,
Laziness
no, no.
comes, no. When teacher is not watching, let me use a scale and draw. Can I fool the teacher then? No, no. It will be very clearly visible. The line, the stroke, the intensity, the pressure, everything you can identify, isn't it? In the stroke, there's a
Eventually, you
different
can't fool
language.
yourself. The
Absolutely,
divine
that's
lives
the
in you.
important point. Hmm.
The divine lives in you, and that divine is seeing everything that you're doing.
Yes,
So, whom
yes,
are you
yes. We
trying to
cannot
fool?
fool.
We have to learn it.
And it will not come out, no? Even a
No,
single
it won't.
line, you can identify your mood also reflects in the line, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
You're angry, and people do handwriting analysis. Many people just look at a signature of a person and you can identify the person. If it is going left to right, slightly upwards, you can see that person is optimistic. You see the pressure points, too many pressure points in a signature, you can understand this person is right now quite cranky. If it's going again in the lower direction, you can see this person is going through a lot of sorrow. Or if the signature is full of so many circles and circles, this person is like a very concealed, who's concealing or she's concealing a lot of things inside. So yes, I think this is something. But then, what about perfection? Means is there a limit to making the art beautiful, or you feel like no, need to make it better? You can always make it
Yes.
better.
You can never feel it is perfect. It is never
Uh,
perfect. There's always
Gee.
just a little more that you can do and improve it. So you keep trying and trying, and I don't know whether we will ever reach perfection.
But the journey itself will take us quite ahead, no, from where we are. The
Yes,
very
yes.
attempt. Yes, yes. That is true, as Majay has said. I have had a very good opportunity to watch an artist who was actually setting up an exhibition in Pondicherry. It was on the Gita. And though I am not an artist, I got a chance, probably because of the Gita, to be part of that group when they were asking me for inputs, which was very funny because art inputs, mine are not so important according to me. But there I saw the artist who was also the organizer. Her artwork was the last put up. I mean, the exhibition, everything is put up, but her artwork, I saw her, it was dark. They were going to close the lights and everything. And she's like, no, no, I'll make some more. She said, just before putting the art up for display, she's been working on it for months. And yet, until the last minute, she wanted this to look better. This can do better. This can do better. Means this is that attitude of perfection. And this is, if we want to understand the art of Mahasaraswati, we'll have to go into the basics. This is the art. This art is not so concealed. If we can see behind the wheel. This art of the Mahasaraswati is there always. She's striving for perfection, continuously, trying to better, trying to improve. As we see, she's also called Vagdevi. Speech also can become more perfect. Damiji always uses the word Shabda Tumara Ho Sanjeevana. Means let your word become like the Sanjeevan Bhuti. It will bring life. When will that happen? When your words are full of consciousness, when your full words are full of Chaitanya, then, then the transformation will take place. Otherwise, words will just go like, and there's no limit. There's no limit to bringing that force into your words also. So this sadhana, just understanding Mother Saraswati's working itself will allow us to get an eye to understand that yes, when our mother is working so hard, where do we have the chance to slack? Where do we have the chance to be lazy? And what happens when you are not lazy? When you are working hard? When you are paying heed to the call of Ma Saraswati? These are the chosen ones who have decided to walk on that path. Not everybody can walk on that path, but those who have been chosen, they receive what is the Guhya Vidya, the secret knowledge. Knowledge of what? Maybe the occult also, the other wisdom also. You will not realize what happens, and this is exactly how Ma Saraswati works. So, with this short intro, without delay, let us just continue. She doesn't care who is big, who is small. Mahasaraswati, everybody is equal. She ensures that everybody gets her grace, and she keeps trying to mold humanity. Humanity is full of flaws, and her work will yet complete only when the entire human race will be transformed. Till then, she will keep working. Let's continue. All forms of clumsiness in her instruments she starkly rejects. Mahasaraswati leaves nothing until it's complete in all aspects. Patience and willingness to wait forever is her impeccable trait, organizing all to a concrete fulfillment. She exerts her forces great until she has materialized her will and is content with her creation. She labors incessantly until all things reflect her perfection. So she wants to see that perfection in the Bhuloka. She wants that perfection in the Srishti. That is why she is going to help. Who is she going to help? She is going to help the person who is in the kindergarten also. She is going to help that biggest scholar who has just got a gold medal for the PhD. Everywhere she is going to keep working. And when will she stop? Until perfection is manifested. So this is her role. Now, how much patience is required? We want perfection in our relationships. We want perfection everywhere we go. I brought a beautiful mango. It must taste perfect. Otherwise, I'll say, what a useless store, or hopeless. What is this? These people are not guaranteeing my satisfaction. Well, everywhere we don't realize we're looking for perfection. Only the way we are looking for is probably wrong, or we are looking at it in a different manner. When we understand from the spiritual point of view, we recognize this that yes, where there is no ignorance, where there is no incompleteness, there's a nice word called paripakvata, meaning it is perfect ripening of that consciousness. Means that is the right time. A flower blossoms perfectly. That will be the best moment of the flower when it has blossomed in that state. Fruit will taste best when it has reached that particular perfect state. Ma Saraswati is also looking for it. In whom? In everything in the creation, in all human beings also. And that's why she's using all her forces to manifest that without any delay. Because she wants manifestation. Now, just a small question. How many of us have sought perfection in our life? Yes, somewhere or the other. I'm not saying integral perfection, everybody, that's a aspiration, that's true. But how many of us have sought perfection somewhere? Ideals. How many of us? I can raise my hand, definitely. Yes, almost. Most of us seek an ideal, that's why we try to understand the divine. No, we want something better than this mold of human beings full of these, what we can say, inconsistencies, incompleteness, these distortions of everything. We get sick of it, and that's why we go. But so we somewhere seek that perfection, definitely. But what is our experience? Anybody? When we seek that perfection and when we don't receive it? Anybody? What is our experience? Do we enjoy those moments or it's troublesome to continue seeking it? We don't get it, and then it is like almost suffering, isn't it? Means you're seeking an ideal, time and again you're being proven. What is this? I remember when I first read Aham Brahmasmi, I was like, Katham? How? How? Aham Brahmasmi? What is the logic in this? Oh, so it was so irritating. I thought, let us now go and sit somewhere. Let us sit on top of we can sit somewhere. And I chose it. I didn't have a mountain in Pondicherry. So the highest place I could go was on the compound wall of a park. I sat on top of it thinking, let's meditate on Aham Brahmasmi. Then I got Sakshatkar. Security guard nicely used nice swear words and brought me down. This was nearly 10 years ago. Again, the question remained unanswered. What is it? It was so troubling. So when you aspire for something which is an ideal and then you don't, it makes sometimes, it causes a bit of suffering as well. Just think of Mahasaraswati. How much suffering she must be experiencing working on human beings. She must have an ideal plan. She must even say, for example, just a smallest of small functions. We'll not say a huge world level event. Let's say in a corner in one small city, one small function. She wants to make it a perfect function. So she's organizing her forces, she's giving inspiration to this person. This person gets inspiration, and then little Ankar comes in. I want to make this function the best function, better than what Mahasaraswati is planning. Comes in Ahankar. This person comes and does something. Another person says, no, why should I come in time for this function? I don't need to come here. So what is happening is at each and every point, the mother who is practicing and focusing, concentrating all this Chit Shakti and Chetana into a perfection, there she keeps, if what we can say, receiving setbacks. Setbacks because of what? Setbacks of because of the human nature. So isn't that a suffering? But here is the mother who is willingly taking all those suffering, and she, that is why they say she suffers the most. She is the closest to us. Now look at that. Our friendship should not be a suffering to our beloved. But this is what is happening. Mahasaraswati suffers the most because of this human nature. Let us just continue. Mahasaraswati suffers the most with man's multi-layered imperfection. Closest she is to us, and she understands best the human situation. So despite the suffering, she is able to understand, that is why. This is why this person is behaving this way. She can understand it. It's like this is not required. This person does not need to suffer, is what her wish is. But she understands because of ankar, because of kama, because of krodha, mada, moha, matsar, X, Y, Z, multi layers of imperfection she is seeing. But she understands our human condition best because she is there among us. She is there experiencing all of it. She is kind, smiling, and benevolent in her motherly affection. Repeated failures and defects she accepts, but on one condition. So she is like that, loving mother. In front of Amma, I don't think we feel anything. It's like, okay, it did not work out well. You just go and the mother touches your head, you feel. I think if we were, when we go back to our memories when we were kids, something doesn't happen, you go close, you hug your mother, she touches your head happily, you forget it. Something like that. She's there, she's smiling, she's accepting all of it. But she has one condition. Let's see what that is. Repeated failures and defeat she accepts, but on one condition. Our will must be single minded, for she is immune to deception. So her condition is what? Ekanishtha, single mindedness. This is so important. Without single mindedness, nothing is possible. We know all of that. And Ma Saraswati also knows that, meaning you can't be dividing your mind into 100 places and not focus on any of those. Maybe you can focus on, if you really reach the highest state of the mind, you can focus with equal intensity at even 100 places. We have Ashtavadhani, Dashavadhani, who knows, there will be a Shatavadhani person also, because that is the capacity. But the nishtha is important, the eka nishtha. You must have that approach. I think this is basic for anything, isn't it? Say you're trying to cook food. Most of the time, I think every day we eat milk, isn't it? Then, oh, I didn't look here because I went for a phone call. Oh, I went talking to that person. Everywhere milk spills, isn't it? It goes over, it overflows because concentration is not there. So she says, I cannot work if you are not interested in working. She's that way. She says, you fail 100 times, fail 1,000 times. It's okay. She will smilingly say, all right, better luck next time. Come on, let's try better. She'll give you the direction also, how to maybe try a little bit better next time. But if you don't have that one-minded devotion, then the mother's force she will not. Our will must be single-minded, for she is immune to deception. She abhors dishonesty, melodrama, double-mindedness. and pretension. There is one thing the mother does not like. It is dishonesty. Dishonesty even to yourself. You're not supposed to do that. I think as Usha Maji very nicely said, I told you the example no, of the some student is using a scale to draw a line and thinking of fooling the teacher. Forget fooling the teacher. The student is fooling himself. He will never learn the basics of art. Never, if this happens. So this it is so simple, isn't it? This person is cheating whom? Cheating oneself. And mother does not like that at all. She does not tolerate that. She also does not tolerate melodrama. Now, what is this melodrama in our life, and don't we tolerate it many times? Yes or no? Anybody? Where do we see that melodrama, and where do we tolerate it? Yes, anybody? Do we see melodrama in our life?
In small kids, it is tolerated.
It's tolerated in small kids.
Yeah.
Should
Means
it be
the parents,
tolerated though? Mehnatajish, in the right sense, melodrama. We have what we
because
call
there
say
are
slight attachment because they are cute, they are little, they are young. But in the right sense, if we want to teach the child, should we tolerate melodrama?
ideally no. But
Ideally,
then
no. Okay, but okay, small kids, all right. But what about adults, elders? Do we tolerate melodrama?
it is not like that at all. If the
It's,
person having the tantrum is somebody superior, then maybe you will not be able to say anything. But it is not liked by anybody.
it's not liked by anybody. You see, oh, this parent has come, started. This person is going to complain. This happened, that happened, all unnecessary stories just because this person is lazy or is not doing something. So this is something which the mother also understands. She cannot be deceived. She identifies deception. She does, but she does not tolerate. Meaning, you cry. People pray to God and cry tears, tears. But these are all deceptive tears. These are tears of pretension. There is not sincerity in the heart. Just this is a human tendency. It's a tendency in human beings to, use our emotions and use our emotions to further your attachment and somehow move away from the truth. That's a tendency in human beings. Sri Aurobindo called it vital nature. To that aspect, we have to rise beyond our vital being to reach to the higher. But this melodrama happens. Sometimes, even the best of bhaktas also start experiencing that. Means they have adoration for the divine, but then, oh, divine is so beautiful, too good to be reached. I will never reach the divine in this birth. And they really, this is not, this is separation, which the person does not realize. And this is something where it descends into later on melodrama, which is not required. Tears and all are not to be marketed, no? They are not a marketable commodity. As it is, tears don't have any market, but still, a lot of people try to show that and try to market it. And this melodrama sometimes works. But not to Mahasaraswati. She knows the truth. All your fake tears, pretension, nothing will move her at all. She will not move an inch. Then they get the experience also of what that is. Let's continue. She abhors dishonesty, melodrama, double-mindedness. Double-mindedness also is a problem. It's the biggest problem in our life sometimes because we don't know what to do, and at each point we are doubting ourselves. Then this gives rise to unknown fears. Worst thing is fear is to not be had in our hearts at all for no reason. But then people have unknown fears, fear of the unknown also. And when you don't know what it is, how can you guaranteedly have fear about something what's not yet happened? So this aspect also, there's one book which will later on come out from Midam called Agnyat Upanishad, the Upanishad of the unknown. So this fear is not required at all. So all these factors, these are things which will take us away from the truth, away from even Maha Saraswati. And in double-mindedness, many times, you see, Arjuna was double-minded, isn't it? Should I fight or should I not fight? Decide, no. Say you are going to fight, they have decided, you have told everybody you are going to fight, come, go perish in that battle if you have to. Or decide I am a coward, I'm going to fight. Go out, go there and experience the conflict. But in double-mindedness, many times we are always hesitating to take action. We enter into inertia. That is again something we saw. The mother does not like inertia, laziness. And that is why, because double-mindedness makes us slack. This is one interesting link from, when we are having doubts about ourselves, we're continuously having two minds. In two minds, nothing can be done right. And there also, Mahasaraswati will not accept it at all. Let's continue. With love, she empowers to cross over sorrow and depression. Like a friend and counselor, Mahasaraswati's touch yields only elation. So this is Mahasaraswati's work. Means what is the treatment for depression? What is the treatment for sorrow? Go to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist will give an n number of medications. Sometimes they may work, sometimes they may not. Just one moment. There's something wrong. Hold on a minute. Hariom. Yes. So, like I was saying, this for sorrow, for depression, love is the very beautiful answer. It will allow a person to go. The counselor who is most empathetic is the one who can feel that love for the patients, the person who is able to guide. I think when we were very young, we could always go to our grandmother, isn't it? Go to our grandmother, touch of grandmother is enough. No big problem. Why has this country bombed that country? Also go feel bad about it, but go to grandmother, her hand will touch your head and you get a solution. I used to remember maths exam. My grandmother did not like school, she did not like studies. She had even told my grandfather, don't send me to school because he tried to send her to school after marriage. She said, I'll make 100 chapatis, but don't make me go to school. So she did not. But for my maths exam, she had the solution for any tension. She would give me one, say curd and sugar, no, like a little, what we can say, vati of this, and I would just eat that, and then suddenly, and she would say, "You will pass." It was like vachan of some Krishna, no, moksheshyami ma shucha, something like that. Don't worry, you will pass. And it was true. And for her, nothing mattered. Even 92% was pass mark for her. I passed. Over. She was so happy with those grades. So this aspect of love is there, and this love is that of a friend. Mahasaraswati is our friend. Means if we see approachable mother, no, we want to experience the mother's presence in our life. We want to experience what is the Shakti of the mother. We want to also experience, see what is the Yukti, what is our sadhana, how is it going ahead in the mother's light. All these questions can be identified when we approach the mother, and for that, the mother has to become our friend. And Mahasaraswati is that bhava of the mother which will allow us to see that friendship. There is love in that friendship. That love will allow us to, throw away all the previous past. It will give new confidence, new urja to cross over sorrow. Even sometimes clouds of depression also. What does the sun do to the clouds? Just vanishes darkness away, something like that. Dark clouds of depression also, if they are gathering in our life, invoke Ma Saraswati. Experience that presence of her. Chaitanya wants to add something, is it?
Yeah, I mean, whatever things that have been described here regarding what Mahasaraswati likes or what she does not likes, uh, I think that from that, I think she is basically that connect between yourself and your inner self, which
Mhm.
actually brings that perfection. Because once you are connected to your inner self, that is when the perfection will start coming, and
Yeah,
all those things that she does not like, those basically take you away from that connect. So I think she's that connect between you and that your inner self, which where which actually, which when actually working together will give you the manifestation or
ji, ji.
the perfection in the work.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. And one of the reasons this is a personalized, you see, each of these, the personalized rupas. Why we have so many rupas? Because when you connect, because sometimes it becomes too abstract. I don't know what I am myself. How will I then identify my outer self only? I have not identified. How will I identify my inner self? Instead, become the child. Become the child. Approach the mother. Look at Mother Saraswati in nature where you want. Look at her as a river. We saw in the very opening how in the Greek mythology also Greek poets worshipped the river, Hippocrene river. That is a river of inspiration. That's a flow. Go sit in front of a water body. Feel the inspiration. Experience that. Yeah, Wordsworth, what did he do? He just walked. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. And daffodils grow just like that, isn't it? Anywhere. But see that Chetana, that consciousness through the flower, the beautiful yellow color, suddenly he's able to become one with the cloud, one with everything. And what is all of this? This is inspiration. This is inspiration flow, and Mother Saraswati is that inspiration. So we can connect with her. Means if we have even one friend, I think we can become the richest person in the world, and that friend will allow us. That friend will allow us to transcend all sorrows, all forms of depression. And that person can be, if we don't have, sometimes problem is you trust people, physical people, and they break our trust and we feel disappointed. So instead, hold on to Ma Saraswati. Who knows, Ma Saraswati only will send you wonderful people, try life will get transformed. That's a different story. But connect with the Devi, connect with her and experience. Anubhav is everything. Otherwise, what you can keep reading good things, you can see good things, but if you are not manifesting it, it's like again, you go to a best hotel, best ratings, best reviews, you are given the best menu, only you're not being served anything from the menu. What's the use? So we have to connect with the Mother Saraswati. Let's just see. Let's continue about her. So she is that friend. She is that friend. Like a friend and counselor, Mahasaraswati's touch yields only elation. That is Ananda. Conversely, when you feel that Ananda, you can understand you are in Mahasaraswati's presence. It's so simple, one of the other. If you are experiencing the Chaitanya, you are experiencing the Ananda, if you are experiencing the bliss in different moments, think about it as, oh yes, Mother is, you can even say, hi, where are you? Okay, I can feel you, but where are you? Let me see. And who knows, you might even feel the touch of her on your head. But that is what is the experience to be taken. She holds our hands in our moments of anxiety, panic, and doom. You see, these moments come, no? And the strongest, physically strong people also become anxious. It's not that only somebody who is weak is because that's a notion. People say, man up, don't be anxious. Right? People who have sometimes the biggest biceps are the one having the biggest anxiety attacks or the biggest panic attack. Why? Well, it's natural. You don't have to get. Look at Mahabahu, the one with strong shoulders, Arjuna. He has depression right in the beginning of the battle only, which even an ordinary, we can say, Laghu Baho or something small shouldered person also will have not have that much fear how much he got. So it has nothing to do with the physical. It is the mind. So all that we need sometimes we just need a hand on our back telling us you're doing good. Go ahead, I'm behind you, or I'm supporting you. Go ahead. That friendship, that Maitri, that is Mahasaraswati, and she holds our hands. This experience must be taken. Mahinabai had not simply said lip, it's not for lip service that the great saints of Bharat have experienced, have done stutis of Mahasaraswati, have said that Mahasaraswati has come and helped me. Mazi Maya Saraswati Mashika Vita Boli. Saraswati teaches me how to speak. Somebody who has not studied anything. That person is able to write poetry which is golden, remembered long after she has left the earth. The poetry is still remembered. People are doing PhD today after she has long left the immortal plane. How is it possible? Or Tukaram's words, Jithe jato tithe tu maza sangati. Chalavisi hati dharuniya. Oh, Vithala, you are my companion. I have seen you hold my hand like a child is being held and you pull me. Does a child have to worry where I am going? What I am doing when the father or mother is leading? They're happy, they're looking around, dancing, maybe jumping a little bit, all of it happily. This is the experience when Mother Saraswati is leading a person. There is joy, there is elation, And there is a security of the touch of Ma Saraswati. She is holding my hand. All right. Ma Saraswati is there, no? I'll stand up in front of all the Nobel Prize winners and still give a speech in technically sound speech without any worry. I don't need to worry. If I don't know the subject also, Ma Saraswati is there holding my hand. I don't have to worry. This is how we can feel the confidence. That is something which people must experience, really speaking. And it starts off with small, small things. Because see, her conscious is not just some positive psychology that we're talking about. It's a conscious force which has to be experienced. How can we start experiencing by doing challenging things and holding Mahasaraswati's with his hand? Try speaking in front of five people. For those who have never spoken in front of five people. Who knows, five will then become 500 also, and you will not care when Mahasaraswati's hand is there. The nature of the audience also will not matter. They are most learned intellectuals of the world also, or they are the biggest fools or the most unruly persons, or all the people who dislike you are standing waiting to find a fault in your word. Still, you don't need to worry about it when she is guiding. So, this is hers. She is holding our hands in our moments of anxiety, panic, and doom also. Meaning, even dangerous moments come in life. In her presence, you don't have to worry. You have that kavach of Ma Saraswati. It's very powerful. People underestimate the power of Vidya. People think it is not powerful enough, but it is absolutely a wrong notion, a misconception. There's nothing. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram na vidyate is what Krishna says. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam, the fire of knowledge, of jnana. It can burn what? It can burn karma bandhanas, it can burn greatest of greatest hurdles and obliterate darkness. So this upasana must be done. Upasana of Devi Saraswati must be done first. First, because she is closest, she will give you an Aadhar. People seek lust after power. People just like how they lust after wealth, another lusting is lusting after power. So they suddenly try to go without creating a base, without establishing that base for receiving knowledge. Then they get derailed. That is all that happens. So, but if you are here, nothing, nobody. What tantric will do some kind of Vashik mantra on you when Ma Saraswati's kavach is there? Nothing can happen. They will bounce off. The caster of such negative thoughts at you, or the caster of all your, what we can say, ill wishers will only, it's like hate. What does hate do? Hate is a poison, isn't it? The one who has the hate only suffers from that poison. There's only one being, it is said, who can tolerate poison, that is Shiva. That also he doesn't swallow, he holds it in his throat, Nilakantha. But that also Kantha becomes Nila, isn't it? Because of that poison. But not affecting him. But everybody else, no. So Mahasaraswati, she is love, she is not hate, but she can protect us also, and she is very, very powerful. We don't have to underestimate that any time. Assuring us she is our sun and dispels every cloud of gloom. So I'll just repeat. She holds our hands in our moments of anxiety, panic, and doom, assuring us she is our sun and dispels every cloud of gloom. In calmness and quietude, she works on our lower nature, nudging and urging our consciousness till it reaches an integral stature. So, what is she doing? She's slowly nudging, pushing us slowly ahead till our consciousness becomes widened and integral. Whatever narrow mindedness is there, that disappears. We become broad minded. We understand. We rise beyond our limitations of perspective. She's like that sun who is throwing away all the sorrow out of our life. Truly speaking, if you are in connection with Ma Saraswati, you can take on the entire world. Let the entire world say you are a failure. Let the entire world tell you have achieved nothing. Let the entire world say you are always wrong, you are incomplete, you are not capable, you are inferior, X, Y, Z, all the worst possible, whatever words can be said against you, let them be said. But when Ma Saraswati is there, you have a sun of knowledge, a sun of love, a sun of support, which can allow you to walk ahead. Not even slightest gloom comes into that individual. That is why wise people always are quiet, no, many times, isn't it? They are most quiet. The people who make a lot of noise, are they? We understand they are not wise just by the noise, no? I used to earlier not tolerate it, how people can be like this, how people can be like that, because I was not wise at all. Now, not I'm not saying I am wise right now, but at least I've learned कि चलो ठीक है, ये this is at least because that this is not right. That's all. We don't have to get so disturbed. Very recently, I saw one person on the online front. Everybody is pseudo wise, isn't it? Everybody is pravachak of. Everybody has shastra. Everybody has knowledge of everything according to themselves, and they express that opinion. So a very big scholar, I'm not taking the name, somebody wrote down, you are talking about like this. Whatever respect for you I had, all is gone now. And who is talking to whom? And I was watching the comment and I was feeling so bad. And I thought, let us respond. And then I just realized, ki, let's not, we respond again. It's going to be action and reaction. But I saw his response to somebody who has no knowledge. This person has all the knowledge in that field. The person without knowledge is trying to say you are useless, you don't know anything. Now I know how your entire life is useless and you are going in this wrong direction. You are creating so much ripples of disturbance in the world, XYZ. But this person is so calm and quietly responding even to those hateful comments. Why? Because that person has already understood. This person knows that knowledge brings a inner shanti. When that is there, you don't have to worry. There's no fear, there's no frustration, there's no irritation. Just everywhere you understand, you do because it's your duty, nothing more than that. You're no more bothered by all of it. And this is one of the great traits of Mahasaraswati only, which supports us. Wise become humble, isn't it? Wise are humble, or humility is accompanied by wisdom, or wisdom is accompanied by humility. Vice versa is true. That is exactly what we see. In calmness and quietude, she works on our lower nature, and with calmness only can we rise to the highest stature, that integral stature. Just as we depend on her, so too do the other powers of the mother. See, we are dependent on her. But all the other three powers also, say Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, they also depend upon Mahasaraswati. So never let us make that silly discussion which power of the mother is greater, which is more profitable to do upasana. It is like, say, I want to become friends with Chaitanya ji. Chaitanya Mugri ji is there. I want to become friends with Chaitanya ji's right hand, not with his left hand. Is it possible? No, it is just like that. Each power is connected with each other. They are one for our understanding, for our sadhana, for us to understand because we are made of our limitations of mind, physical body, indriyas, everything. To understand it, these descriptions have been given. But you see, if you understand all these three forces of Maheshwari, Mahakali, and Mahalakshmi, they also depend on Mahasaraswati. Why? Let us see. Just as we depend upon her, so too do the other powers of the mother. For the material foundation that she lays can be done by none other. She creates the ground for the manifestation of what? Of the divine. She creates the Adhar, the base. Only in that base can the realization be got. If the base is not there, nothing can be done. So that is why Mahasaraswati's role is very, very important. For Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Maheshwari's functioning, she creates a ground to receive their powers on earth. She erects nature's structure, solid and sound. She is creating what we call the plinth of this great building, which all the others will require it. Without that base, no building can stand. So Maheshwari is functioning, Mahalakshmi and Mahakali, all three are dependent on Mahasaraswati. So with this, our study of the four powers of the Devi is complete. So now that we've understood four powers, Which power do we use and what do we do with that power is my question. Yes. What do we do now with the powers? Anybody? Yes. Anybody? What can we do now? और रात गई बात गई. Yes, please. Anybody?
We should uh, remember them while doing any activity all the
Yeah.
time
Okay. We have to remember all of them.
and try
Now, like any example, Aditi ji? For
any,
example.
any work if I'm doing, I should do
Hmm.
it with consciousness, in harmony,
Ha, ha, ha.
and
Wow. Yes.
yes, and be,
Fearlessly?
yes. So from my own
Okay.
anxiety or my own negative traits, I should not uh, be put down by them, and yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now we are not seeking these powers to suddenly now start sometimes Mahesh, Mahakali. Now I'm going to invoke. There are certain mantras, isn't it? Which are different places people use in the Tantra Yoga also. Certain sadhanas. Mahakali, let her force come and disturb my opponent. Is Mahakali going to come and work for you and disturb your opponent? Or Mahakali's force only is so strong enough that anyone who opposes Mahakali will fall. You become one with the divine, isn't it? Rather than calling the divine to do your bidding. Meaning, Ankar should not take over where you are now going to call upon the divine to do your work. Instead, when you recognize that these are the four ways that the divine is consciously and continuously working, I have to be available to the divine. Means so simple it was in like Vibhuti Darshana is something which Arjuna wanted to know. Hey Krishna, tell me where? What are the forms? Which kind of form I should meditate upon? You have taught two techniques of meditation, all that is fine. That time he didn't ask. He said, but now tell me which form I should meditate upon. Should it be Shankara? Should it be Rama? Or it should be Krishna? Or should it be which form? Tell me, what should I do? That time he gave what we call the Vibhuti Darshana. And do you know what he tells in the last part of the Vibhuti Darshana in relation to this? About the forms? Anybody? I will tell the shloka if you want.
Uh,
Then you can try to tell me if
I
you are not
think
able.
he tells
Yeah.
the forms are endless. You can choose whichever you can relate to, and
Yeah.
then you
Gee.
can meditate upon that.
Yes, yes, he said. So it's like beautifully, that's what he said. The like it in that this shloka also is something. Athava bahuni tena kim jnatena tavarjuna Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekanshena stito jagat. My one ansha is there sufficient enough to and make the entire world. Means you see each of these devis. ओमकारी सृष्टि रूपाई ह्रीमकारी प्रतिपालिका क्लीमकारी कामरूपिण्ये बीज रूपे नमोस्तुते. Not even the full mantra, just the bija. Om, Klim, Tam, Kam, Cham, Tam, Tam. Each of these are what? Bija mantras. With one Bija mantra also you can connect with that entire power because that power is strong enough. Krishna tells Arjuna, what is the need for you to understand in detail? By the mind alone, it will derail you if you just think intellectually and not practice anything. So he says, in detail, all my divine forms that manifest on the mortal land. Take it from me, I am here. I'm both here and everywhere, and the entire universe in a fraction of myself I bear. So it's so simple, isn't it? We just, instead of trying to now, we just understood the working probably because to make it more relatable to us. But now, in light of this understanding, instead of now trying to utilize or try to, sometimes people try to control. How can you control? Can you control a storm with your bare hands? Not at all. It is like that. Where are you going to control Mahakali? That force will not be possible. Where are you going to even imagine what Maheshwari is? She is so vast. Until you get an experience. Imagine suddenly you become so quiet and calm, and suddenly you experience that consciousness and you feel you are one with the ocean. Go to the sea, sit quietly for 2 minutes, watch this, watch the waves, and then experience the vastness. You will get a new horizon of your life only. A new start will begin when you get that realization. Same way, understanding prosperity, experience the beauty around you. Then Mahalakshmi's presence is there. Same way, Mahasaraswati, start learning sincerely, like how Usha Maji talked about perfection. She kept trying. Even for her, she's still coming to the class. She faces so much difficulties, physical, to even sit in the class. She still says, I want to still attend. And then if she does not, now she can be my teacher and she can scold me also. But she says, I'm sorry, I missed the class. I could not sit anymore and then I had to go to sleep. I'll get up and study tomorrow. Now look at this. This is what? This is Mahasaraswati's perfection, isn't it? This is the perseverance. Despite personal physical pain, no suffering is making her lose the smile. Nobody can tell she's going through physical pain. And she's going through excruciating physical pain, and yet she's able to keep that aside. She has found her technique. She says she has found Krishna. She calls him child and she says, don't sit too much on my right leg, it's hurting. Move to my left leg, and that pain in the right leg stops. Now, how is it possible? Is it just psychology? Her pain is stopping. Her physiotherapist is wondering how is it happening. Her doctors also don't understand what exactly it is, but they are happy with the outcome, isn't it? And I think we are also more important in understanding the outcome. You say Saraswati or you say Soroswati, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to get her disturbed. But the sincerity of your sadhana, the sincerity of your upasana, that is important. So I think if we have to conclude our workshop on the four mothers, powers, we saw from Rigveda. We saw how in Rigveda the flow has been described. That same flow can flow inside of us also. There are why just one? There are so seven rivers are also there. There are seven planes of consciousness also. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Maha, going on up to Satyam. And how vast is it? It is vaster than the skies, only this truth. Each of this can be realized if we understand how to approach. And there's only one way to approach, I think, at least in this workshop. Also, later on, we will write trust has decided to write a book on this also, the approachable mother. The simplest way to approach the mother is anybody. How can we approach as a
As a child.
absolutely, I just spot on. Sit on the lap of the mother. No, why are you worrying? My mother is like Ma Kali or my mother is like Ma Lakshmi or Ma Saraswati. My Amma is my Amma. I don't care how she is. For me, she is my Amma. She is everything. She will take me and we approach as a child. We start being sincere and it is then our sadhana will go ahead. Then the anubhavs will start coming. The anubhav is important to experience it. And she is there to directly experience it. And why should we take the anubhav? To leave the world which Ma Saraswati is working so hard. Every moment she is trying to manifest that light. Should we negate this world, leave this world, escape from this world? Or is it for transforming our world? It is for transformation. It is for transformation that we have to. That is what Sri Aurobindo's Upanishad also is all about. Bringing about a material transformation. How can you transform the world? First, by transforming yourselves. You want to rid the suffering of the world? Rid the suffering of yourself outside of you. Start becoming blissful. Start becoming happy. Instead of always, I have this problem. See, I don't have problem. But this person in my home is the problem. My father, my mother, my brother, my sister, my husband, my wife, my child, etc., etc., etc. No, I don't think anybody has that much power or authority to take Ananda out of our life because Ananda is not a material aspect at all. Ananda is the highest consciousness. I just quoted Tukaram where he was saying the mother was leading him. Throughout his life, his wife did not like him at all for his spiritual aspects at all. She was always against him. Even when he got a chance for Sadeya Vaikuntha, he said, dear beloved, I am giving you, come, I have got this much punyai that I can take one more soul. I would love to extend this opportunity to you. She says, go. I don't want to come. She turned it down. But the Ananda inside of our life, I don't think anybody should anytime, touch or even affect it. We have to experience that Ananda, and for that, we have to first learn we are no more dependent. But when we are no more dependent, we have to be dependent. Somewhere we have to hold on to. That time, hold on to the hands of the mother. Then you will get the strength. That strength will allow you to not lose that inner footing. And when you get established in it, when the sadhana goes ahead, what they say, aggressor, a person goes ahead into the marga, then no more can ripples come inside of one's consciousness. That will remain unaffected. You will see that higher insight, and around you also there will be harmony. We saw what Mahalakshmi is, no? She's what? She's a harmonizing force. Sri Aurobindo says even opposites are true. If you look at it from one Upanishad also, Isha Upanishad talks about Vidya, another end is Avidya, both are attachments. You'll have to try to go beyond Vidya and Avidya, then only the full truth will be got. So, like that, we have to first experience that Ananda, call upon these forces. We have seen the book is right now, there's only an essay that will later on become expanded into a short book. But just let us read this, let us read Sri Aurobindo's works on the mother, the four powers of the mother. It is basically the same thing I have just written it in poetry. Otherwise, read the original of Sri Aurobindo's works also anytime if you want to connect with these forces. But hold on firm. Holding on firm to the mother is going to allow us. And if at all we want to, for our life, we want a message. We want, like, generally every time conclusion should have some kind of life does not have a conclusion. It goes on, goes on. Shri Krishna says it goes on birth after birth also. We keep coming to do better works. But if we want to, I'll just quote couple of lines from Sri Aurobindo's Upanishad only. It is Anandam hi pravakshami bhagavata dishtaha tamasam apavritya anandaha prakashatam tasya putraha. This is the message which we can call Adesh of Sri Aurobindo himself. Very rarely has Sri Aurobindo even used such words, or in the Sanskrit aphorism, he has told that with the Bhagavad Adishta, with the authorization of the divine in me, or the divine experience that I had, I am declaring, or I am giving this statement. What is that statement? He says, Anandam. He's talking about Ananda experience. Oh, children of bliss, harbingers of his celestial light, removing darkness with his bliss, set the world alight. We have our job. Why do we need to connect with the forces of the mother? It is for bringing Ananda. If we are doing sadhana, if we are walking on the path of Mahalakshmi, let Mahalakshmi's prosperity be around us. If we are on the path of Mahasaraswati, let us experience that calmness. Let us become the source. Let us also become a friend, like how Mahasaraswati is a friend, a counselor, a loving guide. Let us also start experiencing that. Let us be able to pass on some portion of what qualities, some distilled portion, maybe small portion, but even let that come into us. Let us also be strong enough not to be shaken by people's emotional attachments or fear of anybody. Let us not understand what's going to happen. What is worst going to happen in life? Well, death is the worst thing that can happen. But death also is under whose guidance? Of the divine only. So that anybody is there anyone who has been so afraid of death that death felt, oh, this person is so afraid, I will never touch this person. He is respecting me. So much fear, I am feeling happy. My ahankar is satisfied, so I will not trouble this. Death is going to touch everybody in some time or the other. That's a different aspect. What's the point? Why should we be afraid of it? Why should we be afraid of doing something that is right? Can we make compromises with the truth in our life? Never, never, never. Not at all required. We become weak, no? So call upon Mahakali. Who is that who is going to dare to come and stand in my way when my will is the will of Mahakali? Nobody is going to come. No force will stand. She breaks all oppositions. So this is not in just verbal expression. You have to experience it. And many times, if your consciousness is like this, you don't have to utter a word. The people will experience it and walk away. That consciousness itself is sufficient. You don't even have to stare, you don't have to show some weird eyes and all. The consciousness works and pushes a person away. So that is Mahakali's role. And then vast Maheshwari, she will open us gates of the higher consciousness. How nice it will be when we can become quiet and start receiving insight, maybe get clairvoyance. I've seen people who have seen things about their previous life. I've seen people who have been able to see things that are going to happen later, and they still act and talk like normal people. They are so calm. They are still on that same quietude. It is not making any difference in their life. And when you ask them, can you also share some things? They say, not required. Not required at all. One man said, I can tell death of anybody if I just shake hands. I immediately put my hand in front, shake my hand, and he can tell me, I will find out. He said, I don't want to shake. I said, no, but no problem. I'll take it if you tell me. He said, I don't want to do it. And he walked away. Now, this person we do not know. I have not been able to test because I didn't hear. And if he had said, and I do not know, whatever it is. But this aspect of the four powers, I think let us start. Why this entire workshop Vedam Foundation is conducted is just for this, that we have to become receptive to the mother's force. The mother's force is working where? Throughout, and not just in Bharat only. No visa for mother's force, so she will not work in other countries or only in allies of Bharat it will work. It's not like that. Mother's force will work in every place, every world, every place, every loka, we can say. But we have to bring that into our life. So that was the only purpose of this entire workshop. Some we have all spent quite a few hours. But with this, I think today we conclude our workshop series as well. Now, next, maybe we will look at either Sri Aurobido's Upanishad after a break. There's the Upanishad of Sri Aurobindo, the last line which I have quoted. So why not try to see the entire aphorism what Sri Aurobindo has written? Maybe that will be the next workshop. We can just decide the date afterwards. But I think with this we conclude. If anybody would like to summarize, that is one thing. And if you have something to ask or share, you are all welcome. We have today seven participants. So everybody can share something what you want. Something which will all help everybody, or maybe share your insights, something you would like to add, something you would like to say. So with that, we can conclude. Yes, please. Anybody? It's what, like we can say, take home. Take home. What do you think? I mean, from this entire workshop, something that you feel which was probably useful, which resonated with you. If you can share, then we conclude today's. Yes, Vinitaji. Yes, ma'am.
We have seen that each form of the goddess, there are some particular qualities which they don't, I mean, they dislike or they don't favor. Like Mahasaraswati doesn't like laziness. So at least we can start there, like work on our own. If we feel that we have these negative qualities or we are going towards that path, we can work on those. And
Yeah.
that would be a beginning to try to get the
Okay.
grace of
Okay, so to become receptive for the grace, let us first remove the hurdles
work on
which
ourselves.
make us non-receptive. One of them being laziness. Yes, ma'am. Anybody else would like to add something? Not necessarily only of us, as to the entire whatever we have seen so far. Anything? Yes, please. Then we look at the summary and conclude. Yes, anybody? Yeah,
Yeah.
Chitraji?
One thing what I felt is even just by surrendering, right? Because
Hmm.
she's the Divine Mother, and a
Yeah,
lot of compassion is there.
yeah.
So if we, even if we don't know anything, right? So just
Hmm.
by act of surrendering, lot of things she will start setting right within us.
Hmm. Hmm.
Those we probably wouldn't even realize that those exist within us. So slowly she will start working upon all of those, and we become more receptive and start understanding what else can be changed. So this is what I felt, and so far has been a little bit of an experience too. So this is what I felt.
Thank you, Chitrari. So another concept of surrender. With surrender, will understand the mother better. Absolutely. Yes. If we surrender, we will receive, isn't it? We'll receive more. And surrendering to the mother is not surrendering to enemy or anywhere else. It is to the divine. It will transform us. What is the Gudha Vidya, Rahasya Vidya, Raja Vidya, whatever names you want to call it, all those Vidyas will come to us. Mahavidyas, all Mahavidyas will come. Who will teach? Maha Lakshmi will teach, Mahakali will teach, Mahasaraswati will teach, Maheshwari will teach. Why? We are enrolling in their workshop directly, no? What fees you have to pay for that? You don't have to pay at all. You connect directly with them. And who is going to teach? The goddess herself. The Devas also try to have dialogues. No, Shrunu Devi Pravakshami Kunjika Stotra Muktam. Yena Mantra Prabhavena Chandi Japasya Bhavet. There's no other kavacha, no other stotra can open this rahasya like this. Oh, come on, goddess Shiva himself is telling in this is a now Gupta Navratri is also started. So why not learn Gupta Vidya now? Best time to conclude a physical workshop and start our inner workshop. Hold, identify means you have the powers. Focus if you want. It's always better. Krishna also says to have a personalized relation. So identify your Aradhya, identify one of the four Devis which you feel is closest to you. All are one. No, that way you don't have to make a distinction. But chalo, I want to understand this. So for me, according to your understanding, connect with her and let a new Navaratri begin for you also with that. And learn from her directly. That would be one great experience to be had. We will remain connected, of course, for any discussions. If you do have, we can have later on sometime if at all that need comes. But I think this is it. Anybody else wishes to share something else? If you wish to, you are welcome, or we conclude. All right, then somebody can summarize. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I talked to Vaishalji. Yes, please. Please tell me. Ji.
Just think that Maheshwari means like a sky. She's like a vast sky,
Hmm.
like,
Ji.
and slowly as you come down at Saraswati as ground level, like that.
Yeah.
So from vastness to means
Hmm.
from masses to individual, like that.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
infinity to finite, or like that.
Yes. 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 We have to, and we have to reach both, isn't it? We have to touch both
Yeah.
ends. We can't say I'm here only and happy. She's Maheshwari's role is important. It is important for us to rise, and because that will allow us to bring about greater transformations
Yes.
when you go to that higher state of consciousness. Absolutely. Ji. Yes, please. And again, since we've talked about Maheshwari, Mahasaraswati, Mahakali, then Mahalakshmi also will just say one word. Mahalakshmi is prosperity, Mahalakshmi is beauty, Mahalakshmi is that love and abundance everywhere. Let us experience Mahalakshmi's grace. It doesn't have to reflect only in our FDs. It can reflect in our work. It can reflect in our talk. It can reflect in our appearance. It can reflect in our thought. It can reflect at least in our garden, which we are watering properly. At least that we can start off first. Let the flowers blossom there and then let new consciousness blossom inside. So, yes, with this, we are ready to conclude our workshop. Anybody would like to summarize something? Please. Today's session you can summarize so we conclude. Yes. Anyone? Okay,
Okay.
Chitraji, again to the rescue. Yes, Chaitanya or Chitraji, one of the two. Yes, Chitraji.
Yeah, we saw the remaining aspects of Ma Saraswati. So, the imperfections that exist within us trouble the mother. So she suffers the most because of it, is what we saw. And her motherly affection ensures that when one has surrendered with single minded devotion, without any deception in his prayers, she accepts those. And she doesn't like dishonesty and dual-mindedness and concealment. So we saw this, and with her love, it is possible to overcome any lower emotions of sadness and depression. So she is like that one good friend who can bring about a positive impact and lift your spirits. So all the lower nature is dispelled when there is calmness and quietude within us, and she'll begin to work and ensure that the lower nature does not exist. And she ensures that the call is sent repeatedly and till we wake up and pay attention to it and begin to raise our consciousness. So just as we depend on her, the other powers of the Divine Mother also are dependent on her. So she lays the foundation for the other powers to function. So this is something we saw, and by surrendering and approaching the mother like a child, it is possible to bring about the integral transformation, and increase our receptivity and yeah, the overall
So it is
transformation.
possible to become receptive and maybe experience, no, the flow of the let us conclude with the Shanti mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hare Om Tat Sat. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Punarmilamah.